Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 22 on GM Games as the Colorado Rockies. We are towards the end of August. We will sim probably through the end of the regular season and then see what the postseason holds for us. We currently have a 4-game lead on the Rockies with about a month and a half left. We made a bunch of moves in the live stream on Sunday. So for those of you who didn't see it, we made a handful of moves. So did we make them all? And what happened here? All those players got released. Oh yeah, I went in and I released a bunch of old players from my minor league system. Where are all of our trades? Did we make? Right, we made them in July because trade deadline. So we traded Tony Olney, who was a player that we had picked up in the offseason. He was a free agent. We signed him for $1 million, and we traded him to the Texas Rangers in exchange for Matthew Newton. Newton has got a far less severe split. May not be quite as good as Olney, but is probably better for us. He's younger, ARB eligible, but yeah, so we traded for Matthew Newton. And the reason we needed to trade for Matthew Newton is because we traded Mike Rule. We traded Jim Christie, Manny Escueda, Mike Rule, Jamie Callahan to the Astros, getting Brady Neal and Eric Jasick. So Rule was the big one here. They made him a starting pitcher. He's hitting .450 with the Astros right now. His contract demands next year are going to be absurd. And he's coming off of a MVP season for us. This past year wasn't quite as good, so we moved on from Rule. We weren't going to re-sign him at $18 million. So we moved on from Rule. We moved on from Jim Christie, who's a prospect who is blocked and doesn't really look like he's going to get there. Manny Escueda, another one, an outfielder that just doesn't look like he's going to get there. Jamie Callahan, who was our first-round pick a few years back, hadn't been hitting, still not hitting, and his defense was okay. But in return, we get Brady Neal, who's one of the best defensive catchers in the game. He's hitting better than any of our other catchers were this year. So we get a new starting catcher, and then we pick up Eric Jasick, who's another left-handed bat, and he's hitting really well. 993 OPS since coming over. Very good left fielder. So those were the two deals we made. We also traded Luke Lito to the Phillies for Beckett Zavorik, and Beckett unfortunately done for the year, but next year we have our starting second baseman or shortstop depending on where we want to go with that. So we made a lot of deals last episode. So we are going to keep simming along here and see what the rest of this season holds for us. So game 1 against Washington. Is a 7-4 win. So we come on late. We were down 3-2 and then scored a bunch of runs towards the end of the game. Hinojosa reaches base 3 times, scores 3 runs. Fairchild, who was another pickup in the last episode as a backup outfielder. Neal 3 hits, Freeland 2 hits. Denny gets his 13th win of the year. Aparicio, who's back from injury, picks up his 4th save. So that's good. I think we have one of the best records in baseball, but one of our problems is our bullpen. So we'll have to see. We win 7-4 again, this time in 10 innings. So we'll have to see what happens in the offseason. But Hinojosa with 3 RBIs. Bowser 2 hits, 2 runs, knocked in. Briones had a couple of hits. Gomez only went 2 innings in his first start back. That's a weird line. 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Neither of them earned. 5 walks and no strikeouts. But we get the win, and that's all that's important. Final game at Washington is an 8-3 win. So we've won 4 in a row. That's nice to see. Freeland with a pinch hit home run. It is a pinch hit home run in the 9th. Hinojosa hits his 22nd. Neal has 3 hits. We called Chris Ferguson back up after what's his name got hurt, the shortstop we picked up. So many injuries. Zavorik, after he got injured, we called Ferguson back up. He looks like he had a pinch hit RBI. Gonzalez goes 5, picks up his 8th win of the year, and we've won 4 in a row. And we come home to take on St. Louis. We lose Gonzalez for 2 weeks, but we beat St. Louis 11-1. Jump out to an 8-0 lead after 2. Aguilar, 3 hits and 6 runs knocked in. Newton's got that average up over 300. That's nice to see. Jasic with 3 RBIs. So some of the new acquisitions are doing their thing. Norman, 5 1/3, shutout, 9 Ks. Carter Smith, 5 Ks in an inning and 2/3. Very nice. So we lose Saul Gonzalez for a couple weeks. It's fine. Who can we call up? Don't really have any good bullpen arms. We'll call Provolone, I guess. No. Yeah, this is the problem. We are limited from a pitching perspective. Couple of young pitchers. Actually, you know what? Let's give Kyle Williams a shot. He's 25. Well, he can't be that bad, right? So we went 11-1, so that's what, 5 wins in a row? 5 wins in a row. Andy Powers is still hurt. Man, he's hitting .420, but it's in limited playing time because of all of the injuries. Game 2 against St. Louis is another win. 6 in a row, this time 4-2. Again, we jump out early. Cabrera, 3 hits. He's been playing first base, and he's taking to it a little bit. Freeland, 2 RBIs. Brackman, who was another July pickup, has a couple of hits, picks up his 3rd win. He's 3-1. Jeff Brackman getting it done for us as a throw-in on a deal with Tampa Bay. 4 games, 22 innings, 25 hits, 5 walks, 21 Ks. That will play. All right, another game against St. Louis as we look for the sweep and our 7th straight win. And we don't get it. We lose 7-2. We go to Miami now for 3 games. Another loss. We win that one 3-0 in 11. Jeff Butler out with a sore elbow. That's fine. Let's say 3-0 in 11. So Padilla with a pinch hit, 2-run home run. Butler has an RBI. Gonzalez, 6 2/3 shutout. Then Sullivan and Aparicio, 4 1/3 perfect innings of relief. That's what you like to see. Game 3 at Miami is another win, 4-0. So we shut them out in back-to-back games. Padilla, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. This time batting leadoff. Butler has 2 hits. Norman improves to 8-3, 8 1/3 shutout from Kevin Norman. And we got 2 more games before we expand, before the rosters expand. So let's get through those games. Another win, 6-5. We get up 3 in the 9th, but we hold on. Jasic, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Hinojosa, 2 hits, 2 runs knocked in. Briones has another couple of hits. Brackman goes 5. Bullpen is meh. In this one, Williams gets his first shot and struggles. But Aparicio is able to lock it down. A win's a win's a win. All right, and final game of the month versus Pittsburgh at home is an 8-3 loss. All right, so Brackman got better. Gomez, and he's gotten a little better, but, he is pretty much leveled off at this point. He's 33. Newton got a little worse. Jasic got a little worse. Fairchild got a little worse. These are all players that we traded for, so maybe they weren't quite as good as our scout had thought, and that's fine. And then some of our rookies. Bouchage was our first-round pick this year, has been really good in A-ball. Alvarado was a second-round pick back in 2032. He's hitting the ball in low A. You could probably move him to high A ball now. Morgan, how's he doing in A ball? He's hitting .450 in A ball, so let's go ahead and call him up to high A ball as well. Jared Hurst, We're going to let him continue to develop. Man, that's a crazy power bat. Bobby Kirby was our first-round pick this past season. And we'll leave him where he is for now as well. Wait, do they have... Yeah, I want to make sure he is playing center field every day. I want to get that development in center. Whitlock was our second-round pick this year. Yeah, second-round pick this year. He's doing okay in A-ball. We'll leave him where he is. Moncada. He's an A-ball. We'll leave him where he is. And that's about it. Batter of the Month in the AL, Samuel Zavala in the NL. Drew Bowser wins the Batter of the Month in the National League. Jake Gentile, Pitcher of the Month in the AL. TJ Wilson in the NL. Rookie Jose Roca in the American League. And in the National League, Dave Hinojosa. All right, so we need to call up... Well, we can call up as many players as we want, I guess. But how many do we actually want to call up? That's the question. Call up Zvidi. Most of these players aren't even on the 40-man, so calling them up would... I mean, we only have one spot left on the... Well, it's a 38-man roster now, but... we'll call up Provolone because he's also on the 40-man. Is there anybody else we want to call up? Call up a Vidal Brujan? Sure. All right. So let's keep going. We win 12-11. That's a game. We gave up 9 runs in the 7th, but managed to hold on. Who gave up all those runs? Satterfield. 4 walks, 5 runs, and Seeley. So 2 of the guys we depend on the most get hit really hard. But the rest of the bullpen is able to shut it down. We get home runs from Aguilar, Jacek, Hinojosa, Neal, and Newton. Aguilar has 3 RBIs. Newton has 3 RBIs. Neal has 3 RBIs. So that's a rough game. So we get Peoples back, so that's good, which means we can send Zvidi back down. Oh, we didn't even need to do that because we've got like plenty of room on the... Where is he? Right there. Yeah, we didn't even need to do that because of all of the... we could put 38 men on the 38-man roster for the last month of the year in this league. I don't know why, but I'm not really going to question it. All right, so we get a day off before 3 games at Atlanta. Let's see how it goes. First game. Thinking it's a 3-2 win, so back-to-back wins here in September to start the month. RBIs from Aguilar, Jacek, Hinojosa. Gonzalez gets his 9th win of the year. Three wins in a row, this time 8-5. Jacek with 5 runs knocked in. 6 home runs, 27 runs knocked in 33 games. 940 OPS, 130 OPS plus. He's been really, really good. Cabrera drives into Newton is hitting 340. So the 2 guys we picked up are both putting up over a 900 OPS. So Norman gets the win. Provolone's terrible. Satterfield pitches well. Aparicio gets the save. He's done a pretty good job as the closer so far this year. Game 3 against Atlanta is another win. We get Powers back, so it's going to be interesting to figure out what to do with our lineup now. Newton, 4 hits, 2 RBIs. Butler, homers. Denny picks up his 14th. Wow, the ERA is super high. For him, it's super high. All right, so what are we going to do with our lineup here? We got Newton, Jacek, and Butler is really good against righties, as is I mean, you got to get Powers in the lineup somehow. So I guess we do this. We put Powers in in left field. Newton will back up, and he'll play a couple times a week against righties and then against lefties. Powers will go in for Fairchild. And he's not going to bat at the bottom of the lineup, though. I'll bat him third. All right, so there is our updated lineup with a healthy Andy Powers. So an important 3-game series here against San Diego. We are 6 games up on them. They've won 6 in a row. We've won 4 in a row. If we win all 3, we can basically lock down the division here. So hopefully we can play some good baseball at home against Padres. Game 1. Is a 7-5 win, and Jones is out for the year now. Suffers a setback to his concussion, so that's not good. So we win 7-5. We score 4 in the bottom of the 8th. Aguilar, 2 hits, 4 runs knocked in. Neal, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Hinojosa had 3 hits. Neal and Aguilar both homer. Gomez only goes 3 2/3. Okay, his stamina's gone, but Sullivan gets the win. Aparicio gets the save. It's a 7-game lead now. Game 2. We lose. And Bieber is off the DL. So we'll bring players not eligible to come off. All right, let's get Bieber back in there. I got to put him on the 40-man. Oh, Freeland's hurt. I just noticed that. You know what? Bieber can go on a rehab assignment. Let's see what happens in the final game here against San Diego. It's a 6-game lead, a 7-game lead, so Gonzalez is ready to come back. Freeland is out for 2 weeks, but we'll get him back by the end of the year, so that's fine. Butler, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. He's been a really nice acquisition. 836 OPS. He's provided some pop defensively. He's playing out of position in center field, but, he's been fine. He's been fine for us. Gonzalez picks up his 10th win. Yeah, we'll get him back before the end of the year, and that's really all that matters. So let's go back to the team schedule and carry on. 3 games against San Francisco, a 6-0 win. So good start to the month, 7-1 here in September. 3 hits for Aguilar. 2 hits for Norman as he helps his own cause with a couple of RBIs. He gets his 10th win. That ERA is down to 2.5. Pitching in Coors Field, an ERA of 2.5. Game 2 against San Francisco. 10-1 win, and Eric Dufault is healthy now, so he goes back on the big league roster. He was somebody we were counting on. After picking him up in the Rule 5, he got hurt, but yeah, he looks good, man. I mean, he definitely could be a starter. If you make him a starting pitcher, yeah, the stuff drops to a 54. He's a starter next year. He is a starter next year if he can stay healthy. So we win 10-1. Jasic, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. Cabrera, 3 for 4 with 5 runs knocked in. He's having a really, really good second season. He was a Rule 5 pick as well. Not quite. I mean, I guess he'll probably end up with about the same number of home runs, but on pace for almost 50. I mean, this is a really good year. We'll probably get him some time at third base and the corner outfield in spring training next year so that he can be a Luke Alito-style player for us. Then he gets the win, 15-10 now. Game 3 against San Francisco. Is another win, 5-3. 2 hits and an RBI for Cabrera. 2 hits for Powers. Cabrera homers for a second straight game. Gomez goes 4. Aparicio with another save. 3 at Cincinnati. 3-2 wins. We just keep on winning here. Keep on winning. 2 hits, 2 RBIs for Ferguson. Hits his 8th home run. Brackman goes 6 1/3 strong innings. ERA of 3 and 7 starts. 2 at Cincinnati, a 3-1 loss, and the third game of the series. It's a 4-2 win. So we take the series, and we are 11-2 in September. 2 hits and an RBI for Powers. Bruhan gets the start, gets a hit and an RBI. Norman picks up the win. He's 11-3. Get a day off, followed by 3 at home against the Mets. A 2-0 win. So pitching is looking pretty good now. Offense is cruising along. Newton's at .350 on the year for us. Hinojosa with a rough game. 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. Denny picks up his 16th. There we go. That ERA is back under 4. Game 2 against the Mets is a 12-6 loss. And the third game of the series against the Mets, 16-0 win. I'll take it. Gabe Briones, 2 for 4, 4 runs knocked in, 2 RBIs for Newton, Cabrera, Bowser. Hinojosa drives in 3. We get a home run from Hinojosa. Gonzalez improves to 11-7, striking out 10 in 8 shutout innings. That's a win right there. Game 1 at Milwaukee now. Another win. RBIs from Cabrera, Neal, Newton, and Powers. Powers' average dropped under 400 for the first time this year. Norman goes 4. Newton blows the save, but 5 innings of 1-run ball out of the bullpen. I will take it. Game 2 at Milwaukee. Another win. Powers back up over 400 with a 3 for 4 effort today. Brackman gets the win. He's 4-2. Satterfield gets the save here, striking out 3 in an inning and a third. And final game of the series against Milwaukee is a 4-1 win. Jim Denny suspended for 6 games as he gets ejected in the first inning of this one. And we still go on to win, as Newton goes 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Cabrera has 2 hits. Bowser has 2 hits. A 3 against the Cubs. Last time we played the Cubs, we got swept. We win this one 8-2, though. Powers 2 for 5, right at 400. Aguilar has 2 RBIs. Briones has 2 RBIs. Padilla has 2 RBIs in a pinch hitting effort. Gomez picks up the win, going 5. Sullivan, Schultz, and Williams. There you go, Kyle. Ooh, and his ratings got better. We brought him up to the big leagues, and his ratings got better. So it'd be nice to develop a relief prospect. We haven't done that in ages. Game 2 against the Cubs. Another win. They scored 6 in the 8th. Newton gives up 2 default. It's okay, so it's all unearned runs. Errors by Aguilar and Freeland. It's okay. Sullivan gets the win. Aparicio gets the save. We get home runs from Freeland, 2 from Butler. It was 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Powers is at 401. Keeping an eye on the 400 watch for Andy Powers. Third game against the Cubs. 5-3 loss. First game at Arizona against the D-backs. Back-to-back losses for the first time this month. Back-to-back-to-back, so we lose 3 in a row. 4 in a row as we get swept by Arizona. That was unexpected. Where is Powers? Got to be under 400 now, right? He's at 398. 398. Game 1 at home against Philly. We've lost 5 in a row now. We lose 6 in a row. Let's see what happens with our final game of the year. Are we going to lose 7 in a row to end the season and keep us from winning 100? No. We win and Drew Bowser gets hurt. At least he's day-to-day. So we win the final game of the year. Powers ends up at 401. Let's go. Andy Powers batting 400 for the season. Freeland has a couple of RBIs. Norman. Yeah. All right. So we end up the season 162. Let's look at the player development. Zvidi shows he got better. Williams got better. Schultz and Satterfield. Rocker's done for the year. Falk got better. Again, he's likely to be a starter next year, assuming he can stay healthy. Cabrera got better. Aguilar got better. Powers got better. Newton, Butler. Steve Ellis, batter of the month in the AL. In the NL, Acuna Jr. Chris Bloodsworth, pitcher of the month in the AL or in the NL. Kevin Petty in the NL, rookie of the month in the AL is Franklin Mendoza, and in the NL, it's our very own Eric Aparicio. All right. So unfortunately, Powers didn't have enough plate appearances to qualify for the hitting crown, but he batted 400. As we win the division by 10 games, we are the one of two 100-win teams in the majors this year, along with the Angels. Guys, I'm going to take a break, and when I come back, we'll go through the team stats, and we will get to the postseason. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Let's take a look at our end of the season stats. We'll set our rosters, and then we'll do some postseason baseball. So from a pitching perspective, Danny Gonzalez was fantastic for us this year. So it's back-to-back seasons of over 4 WAR, a 146 ERA plus for the 29-year-old. Jim Denny, 4.6 WAR, another great year for him. Kevin Norman. So our top 3, Gonzalez, Denny, and Norman, are all terrific. Satterfield had his ups and downs, but overall I would say he had a pretty good season. Struck out 158 batters in just 90 innings. Grant Newton settled down after a very, very difficult start. Jeff Brackman came in and was terrific in 9 starts, 4-3 with a 3.35 ERA, put up almost a win and a half. Eric Aparicio was terrific after coming off the DL, 19 saves. Yoendris Gomez didn't pitch much for us, didn't really go long into games, less than 5 innings a start, so we'll probably move him to the bullpen. And then the rest of our pen was meh. Sealy, Gonzalez, Dufalt, Provolone. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move Gomez into the bullpen. And we're going to do this. And Denny should be ready to go by the time we get to that game. And then we'll have to reset it here in a minute because I don't think... Actually, let's just do it now. Let's just reset it now. Let's look at our playoff roster and players that are eligible for the playoff roster. So for some reason, it doesn't have Aguilar on the postseason roster because dummy. I'd like to get Peoples on there, but for who? Provolone. Carter Smith isn't on there. Why is Carter Smith not on there? We need Billy Schultz out there too. Probably have too many bats. Yeah, I'd like Padilla for the power. I think we bench. I don't know. You know what? It's got to be Padilla. All right, so now our pitching staff is good to go. So let's set it. So we got Aparicio as the closer. But we're going to bring him in the 8th or later. We are going to make Satterfield... Actually, I think we make Aparicio the stopper, and we make Satterfield the middle reliever and setup. Newton will be a setup. Dufalt will be used more often as well, and we're actually going to make him a stopper too. Peoples, wrong relief. He'll be middle relief. Gonzalez will be long relief. Schultz will be middle relief. Yoendris Gomez. I think let's make Gomez a stopper too. We have way too many. I think we have too many pitchers. Yeah, Peoples will come off, and Padilla will go back. So yeah, that was our pitching staff. We had some really good performances this year, considering how rough of a start we got off to. To see where some of these players are now at the end of the season, I'm quite happy with that. Let's look at the lineups. Again, Powers ended up over 400, 401, 4.9 WAR in just 367 at bats. Hinojosa had a really good first year for us. 27 homers, 75 RBIs, led us in home runs out of the leadoff spot. 366 on base percentage. Bowser had a solid year for us. How was he defensively? He ended up as a net positive defensively, which is great. Cabrera was really good. We didn't really have any like monster offensive seasons this year, but everybody performed. Just across the board, everybody performed. Butler was really good. The average was a little light after coming over to us, but still put up a 463 slugging, 785 OPS. Again, out of position in center field, but, it's fine. Newton, after coming over, 335, 369, 545, 1.5 WAR. Really good there. Jasic, after coming over, 276, 360, 464. Slightly above average, but a lot of extra base hits, 21 extra base hits for us. Freeland had a nice year he was supposed to be a backup infielder, but ended up getting a lot of starts at second base. Aguilar had a great year. I expect great things out of him next year. I expect him to hit 40 home runs, 35, 40 home runs next year as our first baseman. So good season overall. What are we going to do defensively? So we're going to start never, start never, start never, start never, start never, start never. And I think... start never. So we're just going to run with that. These are going to be, this is what we're going to live and die with in the postseason. If we go to lefties, got to do the same thing. Aguilar in at first. Start never, start never, start never. Start never, start never, start never, and start never. And then just make sure we have our backups out there I don't want Freeland backing up at first. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's fine. Cabrera, Freeland. No, we'll have Padilla as my number 2 pinch hitter. Oh, we have to... Right. Padilla, Cabrera, and Padilla. And I have to make sure these lineups are set. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself here, right? Putting in the designated hitter. But I think against righties, we're going to go with Padilla. And then against lefties, we will go with Cabrera. I'll just do something like that. All right. So that means it's postseason time. It is postseason time. We make the playoffs again. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row. We win the division again, which is our 4th division title in the last 6 years. We have yet to win the World Series as the division champion. We've won it 3 times, but each time it was as the wild card. So we'll just sort of see how it goes here. So I'm ahead another day or so. Get to that first, see who we're playing. We got to actually go here, right? Of course, we're going to be taking on the Padres. Who else would we play? This game, man. This game. All right, so the San Diego Padres went 90-72. They finished 2-8 in their last 10 games. They still have Jack Leiter. Should be in the last year of his contract. Yep, last year of his contract. I might consider bringing a Jack Leiter back. We've got a pretty good offense and a pretty good pitching staff. Chris Cood is their ace. They still have Mitch Keller, who's not the same Mitch Keller he was a couple years ago. Same thing with Jagger Haynes. Yeah, so their starting pitching is not very good. Offensively, they got a couple of studs. James Wood, rather. They got him in a trade from Miami this year. Wow. And Brett Weaver hits for a ton of power. I love this profile. I'd love to get a player like this. CJ Abrams still going strong at age 33. So yeah, they're not as good, but they're not terrible. So we're just going to have to see how it goes. All right. So Chris Cood against Jim Denny in game 1 goes to the Padres easily 8-1. Camposano 3 hits with a home run. Cotton homers. Morris homers. Denny doesn't make it out of 4. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can win game 2. Mitch Keller against, it better not be Brackman. Yeah, Mitch Keller against Danny Gonzalez. And we are down 2-0. We are going to lose again as the division champions. We get 3 hits and 2 RBIs from Bowser, a home run from Aguilar. Ooh, man. Gonzalez goes 5. Are we going to get swept? Or can we at least make a series of this? It's going to be Jose Camacho, or Jagger Haynes, it looks like, against Kevin Norman, game 3 in San Diego. We get swept. That's utterly disappointing. Wow. Weaver, 4 RBIs. Wood, 4 RBIs. Haynes goes 6 shutout. Norman doesn't make it through an inning. Doesn't make it through 2 innings. Gets knocked out in the second. Well, crap. All right. Well, how long have I been recording this second section? 11 minutes. Yeah, I guess let's do the postseason. That sucks, man. All right. Well, I'll be back at the beginning of the offseason, and we will take a look. Actually, I'll be back at the beginning of the offseason, and we'll see what we can do. I'll be right back. All right, we're back, and the San Diego Padres absolutely steamroll in the postseason. That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go here. They sweep us, then they sweep the Phillies, and then they took a 3-0 lead on the Angels, so they won their first 11 postseason games before the Angels won Game 4, Padres win Game 5, and the Padres win the World Series. Was that their first? I think that was their first in this world, isn't it? Yep, that was their first. Dominated, absolutely dominated by the National League West. So we started obviously in 2022. The Indians won it in 2022, but the Dodgers, Rockies, or Padres have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 World Series in 13 years. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, so it's the offseason, and we have some decisions to make. Well, for the easiest decision we're going to make is this one. Let's void that. He's mad with our performance in accomplishing the goals. And hang on just a second, guys. All right, let's try that again. So we cut Shane Bieber. That one's easy. Our third base coach is leaving, which is fine. Fairchild retired. We had some minor league players retire. Our bench coach retired, so we need a new bench coach. We need a new third base coach. He redid our contract. We don't have a prospect in the top 10. Where is our minor league system? 24th. McElfresh, Real, Dufault, and Kirby. That's disappointing, man. That is disappointing. All right, so where do we stand for money? $40 million, but I don't think that includes, does that include the, Yeah, it doesn't include Bieber, so that number will jump up once Bieber goes away. So the first thing we need to do is look at our ARB numbers. We're gonna have some big ones in here. Yeah, we got a couple of pretty substantial ones. Any that I don't want to do? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. I don't know. 850 for Christian is nothing. I mean, if he ends up retiring or ends up getting hurt, that's nothing. All right, let's just start with the big one. So Gonzalez, wants 6 years, wants $16 million in ARB. Is this his last ARB year? Yeah. So he wants 22. And that's not an unreasonable contract. I mean, the dollar amount, the length I'm not crazy about, but let me do that. Will he take that? He will. So 14 this year, and then 3 years at 20, but with 2-team options attached at the end. Sure. It's 5 years, $94 million, but it's really only like 3 years. Kevin Norman at 28 wants 4.2. Can we get him at like 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12? That? No, he only wants the 1 year. Okay, that's fine. 4.2. So, which means we can offer him, 4? Yep. Okay. Good there. Like to bring Newton back. He's at 2.6. Let's bring him back at 2.5. I guess not 2.55. Is that the right amount? Yeah. Sure. Carter Smith wants 1.6. 1.525. Joe Sullivan, will absolutely bring him back. Then steady in the bullpen, if not spectacular. Zvorek is out for how long? We get him back next year, right? Yeah, he's out for 3 to 4 months. Yep, we will bring him back. So he wants 3.7, so 3.6. Cool. Butler wants 3.5. I'm good with that, so 3.450. And Newton wants 5, which I am totally fine with as well. So it's 4.8. All right. So now we're going to offer him the qualifying offer. He's 30 years old. His contract demand is 7 years. It hasn't changed. It's 7 years, $30 million. I'm not comfortable paying him that. Can we do 5 years with 2-team options? Like that, 25, 27, 5, 30, 30? Nope. His overall potential just dropped, but I don't care about his overall potential. Stamina dropped a little bit. I'm just not comfortable at 7 years. I'll do 6 with 2-team options. That would be 4. I mean, I'd be okay doing that, but I don't know that he will. Yeah, he just wants 7 years straight. Is it the money or is it the length? It's both. Crap. We've got the money to do it, but if we move Rocker, Gonzalez, who's not as good. Steve Carey. He's fragile. It's a shame he's fragile. He's really good. All right, we're back again, at least for the time being. I don't know how long I'm going to be back, but I'm back for now. So there are some options for Gonzalez. I'm really infatuated, I guess, with Kumar Rocker. The ratings are just so good. But if no one wants him. I mean, I would love. I mean, if I could go with Den. I mean, what do I want to do here? If I came back next season with Denny, Norman, Rocker, Gonzalez, and Brackman as my 5 starters, I think I'd be okay with that. I think what I'm going to do, I think Gonzalez, given his ratings, given that movement, I think it might make sense to trade him. And if we trade him, we bring back Denny, and we are in a pretty solid place from a pitching perspective, assuming Rocker can stay healthy. So let's just see what sort of prospects we can get. I know we just offered Gonzalez a contract extension, but okay, so none. All right, so let's do this. Maybe we take a hit on that fragile pitcher from New York. I mean, he wouldn't hesitate to make the trade. He's fragile. He's out for a year. What does his injury history look like? And my phone's ringing again. My phone's just going to keep ringing over and over and over again here. Man, that's a ton of injuries in just a couple of seasons. Yeah, I can't. It's just crazy. That's a crazy number of injuries. I mean, ideally, I want a prospect, but there just aren't any available. Luigi Hernandez, low leader, low adaptability, but he looks okay. Victor Munoz is really good, but we're not saving any money with that. So, what if we do veterans? Royce Lewis is on there. Josh Jung. So there are some good players. They're all expensive, but what I want to do is trade him before I guess we can just do this. Knowing that I'm going to trade him means I don't want to sign him long term. So, yeah. So let's go back to the front office now. All right, I'm not going to give him 30, but let's see if we can get, will he take 27.5? That's like $275 million. Oops, not enough zeros. 275,000,000. Okay, so he really wants the 7 years. I mean, maybe we just do it because it's Jim Denny and we didn't bring back Wozniak. So let's at least see if we can get him down some. All right. $28 million for 7 years. That's a ton of money. 7 years, $196 million. But we haven't really been holding on to any of our players long term, so this gives us the opportunity to do that. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but he's been super consistent and just so good. I feel like I have to. So, all right. Is that everything? And everything we need to do here. Anybody here we want to bring back? No, not really. Just let all those guys go. Let them all walk. And we're going to sim ahead up to free agent filings. So I'll be back again in just a sec. All right, we're back, and it is time for free agency. Let's take a look at the awards and stuff. We signed all of our players, so we brought back Norman, and we signed Denny to that huge contract. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite us in the ass, but we signed him to that large contract, $28 million a year for the next 7 years. You can see your AL Gold Glove winners there. In the National League, we did not have anybody. AL Reliever of the Month or the Year, Juan Gomez. In the NL, Oscar Nesper of the Braves. AL Platinum Stick winners, you can see him there. Rushman still going strong. In the National League, we got Hinojosa Bowser. AL Rookie of the Year, Hector Quintanilla, the former Colorado Rocky. In the NL, it's Mike Saravolo. Hinojosa finishes second. Jace Tingler wins the Manager of the Year, not surprise. AL Cy Young, Jake Gentile for Toronto. In the NL, John Dodd once again. Gonzalez finishes second. Denny finishes fifth. Norman finishes sixth. AL MVP, Noah Miller of the Yankees. And Brad Kruger wins the MVP in the National League. International Amateurs, there's only one good player, really. It's this 22-year-old, but he wants $13 million, and I don't want to pay him $13 million. A lot of old players in free agency. We'll have to take a look and see how many of them are worth what it is they're asking for. And now that we're at free agency, we can come in here and see if the offers have changed at all for Gonzalez now that teams presumably have a little bit more money. And yep, there are some new offers there now. Andy Frank. Wow, he's really good. I mean, could we get like Larson and Frank? Maybe. We'll scroll through and see what other options are there. Eric Gillespie of the Reds, no. Josh Wright. He's pretty good. A couple of relievers here. Tim Knopf and John Graves is a right fielder. Ivan Lettingham of the Royals, good second baseman. Blake Larson, he looks to be okay. Tim Ruff of the Angels, I hate that movement. Kirk LePage, no. Gabe Earl from the Mets. 6'10", 15-15. That looks like a really good contract. 98 to 100. Right now, that I think is the best deal. 1-for-1. Brett, two players from the Padres. There's that Brett Weaver guy that I love, but I'm not trading with the Padres. The Rangers, Ken Napoli. John, wow. Okay. So we got some options here. It just comes down to what do we want to try to get out of this? Brocious is really good, but again, he had a bad year last year. Napoli's pretty solid. His contract is up at the end of this year. I kind of like that guy with the Mets because he had a long-term deal. Gabe Earl. Long-term deal. He's 29. And then there was Arizona who came in with a couple players. Like Andy Frank. He's still making the minimum. Frank's not nearly as good a pitcher as Earl, but our scout doesn't like that. Can we? I mean, I think if we can do this and Larson. Okay, so we can make that deal. Here, you want Max Oots? He doesn't like it. He loves it. All right, so we're gonna move on from Gonzalez, but we're gonna get Larson, who's a really, really good closer. This stuff is no good, but I mean, he had a great year this past season, and we get Andy Frank, who can potentially be a starter as well. I like it. Yeah, fan interest isn't gonna like it, but I like it. So we get them both. We can put them both on our roster. And that immediately, all right, so now our starting rotation looks something like this. Who's going to be our number 5? Right now, I think it's Default. Or what does Frank become if we make him a starter? Yeah, that stuff drops a lot. So I think it's Default right now. Denny, Norman, Rocker, Brackman, Default. And now we have Aparicio, Satterfield, and Larson at the back half of our bullpen. And we have money. So we're going to bump ticket prices again. $43.25. We'll bump them 75 cents this offseason. All right. So is there anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else that we necessarily want to move. Hopefully Jones comes back healthy, or we're going to have some issues in center field this year. Yeah, there's nobody really that I want to trade. I kind of want to keep everybody that we have, keep them around. So I think, maybe if we can find another starter, maybe we can, because our 4-5 isn't great with Brackman. Their ratings look pretty good. They're both extreme ground ball pitchers out of our 4-5 slots, which I'm perfectly fine with. But if there's a great starter out there that maybe is cheap, that might be an option. Lineup-wise, I think we're set, man. I mean, it'd probably help us to find a legit backup center fielder in case... I guess Butler could be that center backup outfielder if Drew Jones is healthy. I like Padilla, but he might be a trade option. Maybe we move on from... Now, again, I want to keep Newton around because we're really, really left-handed heavy without Drew Jones in the lineup. See, there's not a whole lot that we need. So let's just take a look at what's available and see if we can find some deals. So Olney's back out there. There's Mr. Lito, who for some reason is back up to 5 stars. He hit .250 with Philadelphia. And he wasn't bad with Philly. Victor Morales. Again, a lefty. If he wasn't a lefty, man, he rakes righties. He wants $7 million as well. I don't want to give him $7 million. Only wants 1.5 to come back. I would say we need a catcher, but I think we're okay there. Yeah, there are some good players here. And we've got a little bit of money. I don't want to spend it just to spend it, but let's take a look at pitching. So Giolito is out. Carson Montgomery and Muniz. Muniz only wants $10 million. He's fragile, though. Again, that fragileness really bothers me. What does he want? How long does he want it for? 3 years? I'd go 2 years at 12. See if we can bring in Muniz. I'd love to bring in Montgomery, but I don't want to bring in a starter who is fragile and will require compensation. So I think we might take free agency off this year. I mean, I would love to bring in that first baseman, Victor Morales. He's only 25, but I don't want to spend that much on him. And we'll keep an eye on some of these other guys. I mean, Christian Pash. Yeah, he's turned into a pretty good. He's wrecked. Wow. Okay. And I want to see. Let's just see what sorts of options are out there for Padilla. Because maybe we move him after the Rule 5 if we can get someone who's comparable to him but is a righty. Like, that would be ideal, right? If we could find a righty, a right-handed hitter that could do offensively what he does from the left side, right? That's, I think, the ideal scenario. Yeah, not a lot on the trade block. Yeah, so I think we'll wait till after the Rule 5 and see if we can replace him in the Rule 5. Speaking of the Rule 5, I'm going to sim up to said Rule 5 right now. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, we are back. It is Rule 5 time. I got to turn my headphones down. It is Rule 5 time. We did sign Victor Muniz, so our bullpen is looking pretty stacked now. We got a lot of players on our big league roster. Rotation still looking Denny, Norman, Rocker, Brackman, Dufault. Our bullpen is really good. And there were a lot of good players on the trade block, so that may be something I look into after the 40-man, or after the Rule 5. Is there anybody I want to put on the I can only put, it's got to be Real because I don't want him taken. Is there anybody I want to take off? Yeah, we can take Provolone off, and we can take Zvidi off. And replace them with who? I mean, I guess I probably should have done that first, right? Look to see who. Yeah, I mean, Mike Lemon, I'd rather not lose him. Zavorik comes back, but Lemon is that backup to Zavorik, and he'll probably get the call over Ferguson going forward. Smoker, I guess I can put him on the 40-man. I don't particularly care, but let's get to the Rule 5. We're picking last. And let's see who... Okay, so we don't have anybody taken. And we want to look at batters. So we want to see if there's a right-handed replacement for Padilla. And so far it doesn't appear to be. There appears to be a left-handed version of Padilla, but that is Padilla. Kevin Diaz, no... Luttrell, no. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not nearly as good as Padilla. Juan Ortiz, no. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is really anybody here that is... Yep, there's not. There isn't. So let's just take a quick glance at pitchers. Make sure there are no starters. Tim Jane. Nope. All right. So we are going to sit out the Rule 5. And that's that. All right. So now, yeah, if you look at the trading block, there are some great starters on here. Jackson Jobe, Luis Mendoza, Chris Young are the three best. The Braves are they're selling everything off. Absolutely selling everything off. We could bring back Sixto Sanchez. He's making a lot of money, and he's fragile, but it's only a 1-year deal. Mendoza I really like, even with the low stamina, but they don't want to give him to me. And I can't get Jobe. Oh, maybe. I mean, he's wrecked, so I wouldn't want Jobe anyway. The one I really want is Chris Young. I mean, this guy's just friggin' good. He's fragile as well, though. Mendoza's durable. Fortner's normal. Montano is durable. He's not bad. Danny Rios, durable. Extreme ground ball. Can we get a Danny Rios? Not for any of that. I have a feeling it's going to have to be an expensive. Like, I'm okay picking up Sixto Sanchez, but the Mets are going to have to eat a lot of the money. Well, they don't. There's okay. What if we do this? What if we have them retain? Is it a money thing? Yeah, it's a money thing. Brennan Davis. Sure, you want Brennan Davis? How much of this will you eat if we just keep throwing in garbage players? No, I want him because he's a good defensively. We can throw in one of the many relievers that we have, I think. Which one, though? Larson, no. Newton, no. Peoples? No. Sullivan, no. Yeah, Ron Waters is fine. All right, I'm fine with this. They'll eat 80% of the contract, and we get Sixto Sanchez back. So that moves Sanchez back into our rotation. I got to take somebody else off the 40-man. Smoker can come off the 40-man, even though we just put him on there. Sanchez. Cool. So that gives us Sixto Sanchez, which can go back into our rotation. And when he inevitably gets hurt because he's fragile, we got any number of options that we can slide back in there. So now we're looking at Denny, Norman, Rocker, Sanchez, and Brackman as our starting rotation. We have a stacked bullpen, and our lineup is, we'll expect our lineup to do what it's done year over year over year, and just continue to rake. Jones is back, so it looks like the concussion is done. That's good, so that makes us more right-handed, which is huge. And I think that's it for this section. So I'm going to go ahead now and sim ahead to the beginning of opening day. If we make any moves between now and then, we'll cover them at that point. So I'll be back for you guys in just a sec. All right, guys, we're back. It's about 6 hours later, but we are back. We went 20-8 in spring training. Yeah, we didn't make a ton of offseason moves. I think we improved our bullpen significantly. We added a couple of, I think, decent starters. Well, I know we added Sixto Sanchez, and we had some other players develop, like Israel Real. He's going to start in AAA, but he'll be up next year. He may even be up this year, so we will demote him to AAA. I don't know why I said. Oh, he must not. He must have pitched in the World Baseball Classic. So we're gonna run with Denny, Rocker, Norman, Sanchez, and Brackman as our starting rotation. We got to send a bunch of players down. We have 18, so we got to send Christian and Williams down. Christian needs to be DFA'd. That's fine. So that leaves us with 16. We got to send 3 more players down. 3 more pitchers down. And we're pretty loaded from a pitching perspective this year for the first time in a while. Dufault actually got hurt. I didn't get hurt, but his ratings dropped. Sullivan, he could be, his ratings are the worst. It would make sense to send him out. Seeley, I think we're going to send Sullivan down. And we still got to send 2 more after that, huh? I don't want to trade Default because of the stamina and whatnot. He's a backup starter, but so is Schultz. So is Norman. So is Frank. All these guys are potentially potential starters if we need them to be. Carter Smith, we're going to hang on to because he's Carter Smith and he's been with us for almost a decade now. Does anybody want Schultz? I'd been messing around trying to find a right-handed bat, and I couldn't. So there are some options. Some people want him. Anybody of interest? Jaden Jones, good defensively. It doesn't make any sense to trade one player who has to be on the big league roster for another. So we either need to upgrade or we need to find a prospect. None of these guys look like significant upgrades. None of them look like upgrades, period. Here's Jamie Callahan. How do you do with Houston? $1.88. Very good. Excuse me. Willie Otero. 2-pitch pitcher. No. A right-handed bat with the Yankees. He can hit lefties, which is something we've talked about. But I don't really have a spot on my roster for a... does he have any options left? He's got 2 options left. So Otto Kenter might be an option. Dave Moog, if he's any relation to Andy. Ian Rambelski. I like the stuff, obviously, but I don't need that trade right now, I don't think. I'm just going to keep yawning. I hope you guys are okay with that. John Alvarez is no good. Chris Groh. Oh, he's a lefty. Why does he have to be a lefty? Let's try something. So if we do this, and I believe we have an injured Rick Padilla, so let's put him there. Do you have a righty? He's a lefty as well. Danny Fisher. Bring him back. Do you have a righty that can hit? Oh, I want this guy. Platon Papathanasiou. Wander Franco's not the same Wander Franco. Yeah, this guy's really good. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's look at prospects. Yeah, they don't really have any prospects that fit the need that we have, which is a right-handed hitting. Juan Espinoza? So I guess the question then becomes, is Espinoza worth Schultz? And he's a spark plug. He's not great defensively, but he is a righty. He doesn't have a huge split. And he looks like he's pretty good, equally good against both lefties and righties. I like this guy. I like the speed. The bat's just okay, but I like the speed. Can play multiple positions. Sure, you want Greg Melvin? We'll pull the trigger on this deal. Grow, Espinoza, Kanemitsu for, well, that's sort of dumb. Like if we do this and this, what if we just do that? Hostetler. Yeah, we don't need that deal. We'll just keep going. All right, so we have to send 2 pitchers down, and looks like Sealy is probably one. And we'll hold off for now. We have 4. Maybe we can go with 14 pitchers. Let's take a look at the lineup. So we have to send how many players down? 29. We got to send 3 batters down. Scudiero will go down. Ferguson is going down. We're going to run with Lemon as our backup shortstop this year. He has no hustle, but he's very, very good defensively. And then, yeah, we got to send a pitcher down because I need all of these batters. Lemon will back up at short. Freeland will back up at second and third. Cabrera will back up at first. Yeah, so we have to send a pitcher down, and that's fine. Actually, you know what? Do we? Or do we have a 27-man roster? I can't remember. Peoples is eligible to come off the DL, so we'll start him in the minors. He's just going to get hurt again, but that's fine. Let's just keep simming ahead. Can't remember if it's 27 or 20. I think it might be. I think we might have a 27-man roster. I can't remember. Let's just get to opening day. I know it's going to eat a year for some of these players if we don't move on from them, but that's fine. Let's get to opening day. And then figure out what we are going to do. Actually, I think we can send a batter down because we have both Zavorik and Lemon on the spring training roster right now. So we can send Lemon to AAA and have Zavorik. So that'll at least get us one batter closer. As soon as this finishes updating things. Come on. Okay, with the Atlantic League. All right, so now we're at opening day. All right, anybody thinks we should win it all. We still don't have a top prospect, and this was the key. 26, okay, so we do have to get down to 26. So Lemon will be one. We'll send him to AAA. And we do have to send a pitcher down. And who is that going to be? Default's actually a reliever. That's why his ratings have dropped. He's listed as a starter. There we go. We have a lot of really good relievers in our system. Frank? No. Ugh. Larson, no. Frank, no. Default, no. I mean, based on ratings alone, it's probably Satterfield, but not with that stuff. I'm not sending him down with that stuff. He lost a pitch. Lost one of his pitches. Shoot. Can we send Peoples down now? Good, he's injured. We can do that. All right, so now who is our closer? Our closer, I think, is going to be Mooney's. And then setup will be Larson. 8th or later. So this is how they have it set up. And Newton as our one middle reliever, no. Aparicio was really good as our closer last year. We're going to make Aparicio the closer. That's his gig. We'll make Munoz the stopper. Default will be middle relief. And Schultz will be middle relief. So we go Aparicio as our closer. He was quite good as the closer last year. Mooney's as our stopper. Larson and Satterfield as setup. Newton, default. Schultz as our middle reliefs. Smith and Frank as our long relievers. And now our lineup. So our leadoff hitter will be Joseph. Our number 2 hitter, and this is against righties. So our number 3 hitter is Joseph. So our number 2 hitter, I guess we're just going to work backwards here. So Jones is going to be our number 4. No, you know what? Do we do this? Make Jones our number 2? I don't really like him as a number 2, though. I prefer him there like that. And I think we make Bowser our number 2 hitter at short. Yeah, that's better. And then we're down. Who are we down right now? Jasic and Padilla, right? We're down both of them. Okay, so one of them will move into right field against righties when they come back from injury. So we'll put Newton in there and right field. So second base and catcher. So Zavorik will be our second baseman, and Neal will be our catcher. Let's see what it does there. So Cabrera, I don't want Briones starting every 5th game. I don't want Butler starting every 2nd game for Powers. So we got Cabrera at first. Freeland is going to back up at 3rd and short. Cabrera is at 1st and 2nd. Butler is backing up in the outfield. And we'll have to change that once we get some people back from injury. But that's fine. That is fine. So against lefties, what do we do against lefties? I think we leave it the way it is. Maybe we get Freeland out there against lefties because he's a better bat. And Zavorik will be our backup 2nd and there. I don't want him starting every 3rd game. I don't want Butler starting every... Yeah, see, Butler's really, really good against righties. So we got to find a way to get him out there some. So I think maybe we do this. We put Butler in right, where he's got the arm. He can pick that up pretty quickly. Newton will back him up in right field, and then against lefties we switch. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. So if we copy this lineup against DHs and we paste, we'll throw Butler in there as our... Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Our catcher, Brady Neal. And I think Cabrera will get the start at DH. We'll move him up there. We'll just go lefty-lefty at the bottom of the lineup. I don't particularly care. Depth chart. Again, I don't want him starting there. I don't want him starting there. Let's come in here and copy the lineup against righties and paste. DH will definitely be Cabrera here. We'll move him up like that. And yeah, we're going to be really, really good against righties. We're going to have a bit of a difficult time against lefties, but that's just sort of the way it is. Minor league system rankings, we are up to 18th. So Miguel Fresh, Kirby, who was our number 1 pick last year, is up to number 53. Real and Bouchage, who was our number 1 pick last year. Real he's going to be there next year. Miguel Fresh, he'll start in Double-A. He's still a bit of ways away. That control's still not great, but they're both up to 3.5 stars, so I am encouraged there. Let's quickly look at the waiver wire because I forgot to do this last year. So any righty hit, I mean, Victor Palacios is pretty nice. I think I'm pretty good, though. I don't think, unless there's a pitcher in here that's really, really good, I think we're probably pretty content. Yeah, we are good to go. So, guys, that is going to do it for this episode. We are getting ready to start year number 14, believe it or not. And we are a very different team, but we are continuing to plug along, continuing to make the playoffs. We've won 3 World Series in 13 seasons, made the playoffs each of the last 8 years. We've won 3 to 4 division crowns. We haven't finished lower than second in 8 years. We have 3 titles in the last 8 years, and things continue to look up for your Colorado Rockies. So, guys, I will see you again Sunday night, 7 p.m. GM Games, Twitch, and we will get Season 14 started. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the support. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.